be here.
Oh, sounds like you're busy.
Busy, busy. Dinner time for you? Where are you located?
Washington State.
Washington State. So it's
Yeah,
5 p.m. for you.
right.
Yeah, I love people who eat dinner early. I always eat at 5 or 6 too.
I have a Bible study that starts at 6:30, so I got to leave by 6. So
Got it.
I have to eat early, especially tonight. A lot of times I eat at 6:37.
Got it.
Mm. Yobe, what books have you written?
I've written 9 different titles.
Mm.
It's one of them's called Our Lunar New Year. All of the books celebrate Asian American children and holidays.
Okay.
They're on my website. They're on Amazon. They're on a bunch of places.
And what did you say the name is?
Our Lunar New Year. Lunar New
Oh,
Year.
okay. Our lunar year. Okay.
What about you?
I wrote a patriotic children's book. It's called The Worn Out Flag. And I've written, but it's being illustrated and follow up, which is honoring veterans, serving those who serve. So, and
Love that.
I'm working, those are picture books, and then I'm working in a very frustrating manner on a chapter book. What I want it to be a series of mysteries. So it's called The Case of the Missing Sheep, and it takes place in Ireland. So that'll be my first one, but I'm getting very frustrated. So,
Why are you getting frustrated?
well, in a chapter book, you have to have more character arc than you would in a picture book, because it's a lot longer book. And I'm getting frustrated on character arc. And I've been taking a class from Joanne Skye. It's Ready, Set, Story. And so I'm learning a lot, but I guess it's writer's block is a big part of it. So plugging away.
Well, um, publishing is a very long game. It is a lot of back and forth. It's not a linear line, as a lot of us know. It takes a
Mhm.
lot of time. It takes a lot of thoughts. And it's just a whole long journey. I think I've been doing this for 4 years, and I saw the message April sent. I can introduce myself. My
Uh-huh.
name is Yobe. I am a published author. I started in 2020. Before I did this, I owned a few preschool centers and a few after school programs in New York City. So I'm an entrepreneur by trade, I guess. I went to school for education, and in COVID time, my schools were shut down because we had to be in lockdown. 6 months later, I realized even when I reopened the centers, folks weren't really coming back to the
Mhm.
schools. And I figured, okay, now I have all this time. What should I do? And I decided to write a children's book about how different Asian American populations celebrate the Lunar New Year. When I
Mhm.
was a teacher, or when I owned the schools, actually, I told all of our staff to teach about the different holidays that we have during winter holiday. They talked about Christmas, we talked about Hanukkah, we talked about Kwanzaa, New Year's, and when it came time for Lunar New Year, there weren't anything out there because everyone
Mhm.
thought that it was called the Chinese New Year. But we had children who are not Chinese in our school, and I figured I just kind of wrote a book to see how that works. Anyway, I wrote and I wrote, and then I had to sell it. And I
Mhm.
didn't know how to sell anything on Amazon. I had no idea how that works, but I knew how, hi, Tina, I knew how to sell to schools
Mhm.
because I owned a few schools. My network of friends were all in schools. I called the schools up. I'm like, hey, if I have this problem with finding books that my teachers could use for Lunar New Year, you have it too. And I know that if a school owner like me have this issue, all the school owners in the United States will have the same problem as me. So
Mhm.
I sold to schools one at a time. And then I found this group And then I just started doing the website, going on Amazon, everything else. It's been 4 years. Um,
Did you sell to public schools or private schools or
I did
both?
I did both. I did
Okay.
both. And now I don't know if you heard from my co-founder Serena. We have a platform called Book and Author, and now we work with even more institutions and organizations. But that's how I got started. I've learned a lot during the first 4 years of my career in publishing, and April had messaged me today and said if I want to step in. For those who just came, April's not feeling very well. She lost her voice, so I'm here as a substitute. I'm subbing for her and I'm answering any questions that you have. She told me this is a Q&A, and I just introduced myself. I kind of know some of you here, but I met some new ones. I met Karen. Hi, Pat. Hi, Tracy. And hi, Gabriella. Feel free to ask your questions. I know Tina. Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. I blurred my background because I got all my stuff stacked up for my event this weekend.
I am in a car. She's like, can you take the call at 8? I'm like, I'm in the middle of driving, but I will pull over and I'll love to talk to people in your group. That's the way. Hi, Miguel.
Hello,
Miguel, you
hello.
just missed the best introduction in the whole wide world. I told everyone about myself. I told them why I'm super cool, but I'm Yobe. I'm here to sub for April. I'm a published author and I'm here to answer
Indeed.
questions.
Sounds good.
And I don't know how this works, so someone help me out here.
Could you talk about book and author? Like, what is that? And I guess more of an introduction about you too. I'm sorry if you did that already, but just a
Sure.
little bit more.
Sure. I told everyone how cool I am, what I did, how I make my money, and now I founded bookandauthor.com earlier this year, I think in May, no, last year. In August, we launched a website that helps connect schools with authors, actually authors with schools and corporations, small businesses, nonprofits, all everything we call them institutions. It's been a few months since we've been doing that. We're getting bookings on the platform. Essentially, how it works is we charge all the authors $1 per listing, and you put your book up there, you put your calendar up there, you put how much you charge up there, you put your programming up there, all your information on how you can conduct an author visit will be there. So schools will come and, or not schools, or anybody who wants to book you for your visit will come to be to the platform and reach out to you. And you and the institution will talk in the back end about what they need to do. They'll pay you on the platform. So you're no longer going to the visits and then waiting to pick up a check at the end. You're paid before you do your visit. Everything that we've created on the platform came out of how painful it is
Yeah.
to do this business. Like, damn it, do we need to hustle so hard and to beg for a check at the end? Can I not get paid before I show up? I hope I'm saying everything okay, April. Like, this is streaming on YouTube. I'm gonna get some complaints about me. But basically, we want to make sure we streamline this whole thing for authors to do business faster and easier with institutions.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
There's a question in the chat. I don't know if you can access it, but
Yeah, let me see. Gabriella, all of my titles are self-published. All my titles are self-published. Yes, I have had a few conversations with Scholastic and a smaller imprint who's been around for, they say like a few decades. But I decided to ensure that all my stuff is self-published, and I have my own incorporation. It's a C Corp. And we publish my titles, and now I'm publishing other authors' titles. And then let's see the second part of the question. Do I create resources for my books? Yes, I do. I create reading comprehension questions so I can share with teachers, because those are super important to me since I target the school community a lot. Like, I'm not huge on Amazon. I can't answer Amazon questions. I want to make sure like teachers and organization can use all of my stuff for that. So I make all of those. I had a teaching background. I have a master's in education. People actually don't know that, April, that I have a master's education because I'm all about money here. But I'm going to do my first visit school. Congratulations, Gabriella, you're doing your first visit. I love that. What do you suggest if we don't have a PowerPoint? If you don't have a PowerPoint, I don't know how long. Gabriella, do you want to tell me how long is your visit? Well,
Sorry, they're 45 minutes to an hour.
okay.
But I didn't mean a PowerPoint. I mean like the thing that you present on. I cannot think of it right now. But the screen that normally will project a projector. There we go. If you don't have a projector and you have a presentation, like what do you think are other visual elements? Because I was gonna have kids like read things to compare contrast. I have like
How old are
budsy characters. Go ahead.
what grade or how old are the students?
So I'm doing K through 5 all next week.
Oh,
I just want to like prepare for if it goes down, I guess.
okay. 1 hour is quite a long time. Most of the school visits are 40 minutes because their class time is 40 minutes. They have like classes, um, at least where I go to. Most of these authors will put their programming at 40 to 35 to 45 minutes. It takes like 15 minutes to read a book. Sometimes it takes like 10 minutes to read a book, or maybe 5 if your book is 300 words. It doesn't take that long to read a book. So what are you going to do with 25, 30 minutes of your time? So when I do visits for museum and I do the children's museum locally with a lot of sponsorship there, and they pay me $250 to $300 and it's only 30 minutes. But even then, I can't hold them for 45 minutes with one book reading, a picture book. And my book is about 800 words, and I couldn't do it for 45 minutes just reading. So hopefully you get them for 40, 45 minutes and not 60, because that 15 minutes is painful. So you can tell whoever you are doing. But I read the book and then I take a few pauses. I show them props. So when I'm reading the Lunar New Year books, I show them how a red envelope looks like. I pass the red envelope out, and that buys me like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm like, look at that. What do you think is in there? And I turn the page, I continue. It's hard to do this if you have a story that you want them to kind of stay hooked with you. But if you bring puppets, the puppets usually keep them engaged. So some authors will bring the guitar, sing a little bit. It depends on what your book is about. And then later, I don't know what's the setup because I do arts and craft, and I see another author saying that they do arts and craft. But if you have a bunch of people sitting around the auditorium, you can't do arts and craft. But you will have to kind of figure out what to do between the first book, get some Q&A, do a break, and then maybe tell them about your other book. I've done that. I've done, here's the book for our Lunar New Year. Here's a craft that we're doing. Let me take a few questions. All right, are you all excited now? Thank you so much for being so kind to me. You're the best students I've ever seen. This is the best group. Make sure you give yourself a pat in the back. Now I have 5 minutes left. Can I tell you about this next book that I have? I don't read it, but I tell them, I do a picture walk. The teachers don't mind as long as you fill up that 40, 45 minutes of your time. This is a book, it's a chapter book. So when you're a little older, you can see I have a book called The Missing Red Envelope. It's also about a Lunar New Year adventure of 2 girls to lose all the red envelope. Let's kind of see how it looks like. So I just kind of start turning the pages of my next book and I get them excited. But that's what I would do if you have K to 5 for 1 whole hour. Hopefully that helps answer the question. I'm launching my first upper middle grade. Any tips on marketing, Kelly? Marketing is marketing no matter what you launch. Like the way I market my book, it's very similar when I market all of the preschools that I've opened, the events, the open houses that I have. It's very, very similar. One, you really need a whole bunch of people to be on your side to help you promote and share. So the way I do it is I tell all my friends before my launch date, and I say, hey, I'm launching my new book this day. Are you able to commit to sharing this post or writing about it or posting a photo on March 1st at 3 p.m.? Like, I want to ensure all my circles on Facebook or social media is completely bombarded with my stuff. And that's how I like to launch. It's the same idea when I launch Book and Author. It's the same idea when we promote the summits that we have. Marketing is marketing. It's mainly like you need to, because I don't want to tell stuff that everyone already tell you or things that you could just find on ChatGPT, Google. You just need to really think about your network of friends who you're going to call to be like, hey, I need you to do this for me. Hey, you need to do this for me. Can you please help me? I would appreciate it if you could post this on this date and put my link up there. Everything that you promote, everything that you market, make sure you have a call to action, which is you need to tell them where to drive. You need to tell those people what to click and what you want them to do. So be really crystal clear on that. Marketing is the same thing. Like when you're ready, then you can buy like $75 worth of advertising. But the highest conversion on marketing is through your close friends and family who can help you share. They don't even have to buy. I mean, they should buy. What kind of friends are you if you're not going to support my business? But people suck. But you should, if they don't buy, share. Can you share? Can you share this? Can you share that in their email groups? And that's what you're going to have to do. Like I won't even call it getting a launch team, Kelly. That seems very formal, but you can go through your phone and pick out 10 names. Out of the 10 names, you're going to have maybe 4 people who forgets. Life got in the way, fine, thank you. But 6 of them will share for you. And with 6 of them, and they all have 100 friends on social media, that's 600 people, right? 600 people will see it. 600 people will click on your link. It's a numbers game. When it comes to marketing, it's just a numbers game. How many times can you do this? How many people can it reach? How large is our email list for Book and Author? We have 10,000. We have 10,000 plus schools, librarians, and school admins on our list. We have 2,000 authors on our list, but we don't promote to authors. We promote to the schools. We have 7,500 bookstores that we promote to all the time. And then we harass them with the emails. We have email marketing set up. So in case anyone, God forbid, someone opens our email, now we put you on a different list. Oh, this person doesn't hate me. This person's actually interested in what I have to see. And if this person opens my email and they clicked on something, oh, this person likes me. Okay, let me go talk to this person. And I send a different email to this person who opened my email. And I send a different email to the person who clicked on the link. And then I leave the folks who don't open. So email marketing is a whole craft there. But we have a few, like say when we have 10,000 schools, I expect at least 300 of them to convert for me. So at 3%, it's just a numbers game. When you launch, you hit as many people as you can. You give it 2-3 days, you hit another 6 people. You give it a few days, you hit another 6 people until you're sick and tired of doing it. You take a break and then you go for it again. That's just the book business, right? It's just the book business. It's any business. You just keep going at it the same wash, rinse, and repeat method until your book sells on its own. And I've built my business without relying on Amazon just because I can't figure Amazon out. Like all the money that I've put in, never make the money back. I'm like, damn, the dashboard changed again. It's extremely frustrating, but there are other ways to sell. Okay, let's see. Questions. Tell me something cool.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
On the Book and Author, I know that you've had a couple of authors on there that have done some fundraising for themselves. Can you elaborate on how that works?
We have campaigns that goes. I don't like it when authors do individual fundraising on their own. So I create like a community to do it together. I think the last time we did it, I don't remember what we did. I don't remember. We've done a lot of campaigns, but we choose about 5 or 10 authors who can commit to what we're doing. So basically, if you're all here today and all working with April, 5 of you can find a time. March is National Reading Month. All 5 of them will start a campaign March 1st, and all of you will end March 30th, and you're all going out to promote your book, to get funding, to fundraise for enough money to bring 1,000 books into schools. You will combine all your funds. So naturally, April is going to bring $3,000 to this, and Yobe will bring 300. But April's not going to kick me out of the team because we are a group. So it's like a group of accountability to market together. But when we pick out these people, we kind of pick out to see we have around the same amount of reach. So we have around the same amount of network and skills. We put a group of folks together, we fundraise enough, and then we come up to say things like, we have donated 1,000 books to schools. We have fundraised $5,000 for authors to do author visits for 25 school districts. So the number sounds better. The number sounds bigger than April is trying to sell her books. April is hustling and she's trying to get money to sell her books. It doesn't sound as good as Indeed author community coming together from 5 different states or 25 different states, raising money nationally. So it's a lot of like branding and playing with words. We've done that a few times. I've succeeded every time. We've been very luckily picked up by national media because you're doing something big. So that's what I wanted to leave with you with. I think we have one coming up soon. We're putting together campaigns for teachers to raise, I don't know how much is it. I think it's $3,000, but we're targeting a few schools. It's just coming up with a good story. Otherwise, it's just like asking people to buy your book, buy your book, buy your book. So coming up with stories of how to get the community involved in your mission helps.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How long have I been running Book and Author? It just started in August. So 6 months. I think I just wrote a 6-month like check-in point. 6 months, and we have 175 school institutions on, 400 or so authors on. Not everyone got their listings up yet. People are still learning the tech. I just got an $800 order today. It hasn't gone through yet, but we sell in bulk, like book discounts, and the school emailed and say, what is your discount rate? What is your wholesale rate? And I just kind of send them a link, and all of my links are here. All of my information is here. So we don't have to go back and forth. But that email just came in today. She hasn't paid yet. So when it pays, I'll be celebrating. Andrea, you're writing the whole time? Are you taking notes? How are you doing? Tell me about yourself. Andrea, are you muted?
Yeah, I'm writing a list of influencers.
Good. You're taking action. Yes. I love it when you just kind of go through your phone, go through your Facebook friends.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Write down those 10 names. That's going to help you. But you can't like call them, be like, hey, I need you to help me sell some books. You got to be like, hey, how are you doing? How's your daughter? How's your cat? How's this? How's that? And then you warm up, and 2 days later, be like, hey, by the way, I'm doing well too. Here's my book. You gotta like be friendly there for a bit.
I have it tough getting into schools. I got into maybe 1 or 2 schools.
Oh, schools are
And-
tough. Schools are so tough.
I mean, email, phone calls. You can't walk into a school.
Oh, I mean, even if you walk in, you gotta like all the stars have to align for someone to be nice to you, for you to talk to the right person. It's hard to do business of school because there's a lot of gatekeeping. The person who likes you, who wants to work with you still have to talk to their librarian. They still have to talk to the assistant principal. They still have to talk to the business manager to cut you the check. They need to go through like 7 different people before you can get a few $100. It's tough. So the way we like to do it is we don't go in individually. I go in with 400 authors, meaning when someone asks me a question, and I posted this, which I'll send it to April later, she can post it in your group, how I was able to tell someone about the platform that I'm part of. And I say, hey, here's my information, here's my rate. If it doesn't work for you, I would love for you to check out all 300 other authors. Here's how you search them. Like, I want to be able to help them, like make their job easier, and they will continue to talk to me. I learned this from selling shoes in Bloomingdale's when I was in college. I was top sales. If you can't tell, I'm very good at selling now. When you come asking for a shoe, I'm not supposed to give you 1. I have to give you 3 because that's going to help convert. I'm going to ensure you buy something. So if Miguel comes and say, can I get this in size 9? I will go to the back room. I'll bring out the one that he asked for, another one, a different color, and one that's on sale that's 40% or 50% off. So what happens is Miguel will likely leave Bloomingdale's shoe department with the shoe that he wanted, or he's going to go bring the one that he wanted and the one that's on sale. We increase the ticket price there. That's the same kind of business strategy that I took coming to selling books. When I go in to tell them, the schools, hi, I'm an author. I wrote Our Lunar New Year. I would love to do a visit for you. Well, chances are they're going to say no. Okay, thank you. Cool. I'll get back to you. And I don't hear from them, right? So I go in and say, hi, I'm Yobe. I'm a published author. I'm local to you. I would love to read you a book, Our Lunar New Year. Here's a sample of the book. And I also have my friend April's book with me about puppies. And I have Miguel's book with me. And Miguel happens to have a bilingual book. They're not going to throw 3 books in the garbage. They're not going to look at me the same way that they were looking at me when I came in the first time, right? Mm-hmm. So that's how I convert. And now when I tell them that, hi, I'm Yobe, we have 400 authors on Book and Author, you bet they're going to come look. So I just need them to come take a look. They know about us. The booking's going to happen later on. It's a very long-term game. I've learned very early on that you can't sell books on your own unless you're in a booth, unless you're in like vendor booth at an event where you sit for 4 or 5 hours, you shake hands, they're buying your stuff. If you want to do something bigger, you're going to need a bigger team of people. You want to sound like you're big and they'll look at you differently. But if you're sounding like you're very small, people are mean. It's hard. It's the same idea of like selling on Amazon. You want to have like 300 reviews and they'll buy your stuff. Same thing, right? Like, so let's get in there.
What if it was a small group of people? Like I have a local authors group.
Yeah. Can you work together somehow locally with each other? Can everyone pitch 10 schools and everyone put a book together? And every time you go with 5 books? They won't throw you out there if you're coming in representing a community of people. They don't want to mess with a community, right? So you're going to get a very nice, hopefully, response. You're just upping your ante to win. You're buying yourself more chances to win.
It also helps because I have an in with my town mayor. I actually met his wife at a school activity I did the other night. I didn't know she was a librarian in the school. So I think with that connection, I'm going to really leverage that to try to get into the grammar school. Yeah. It's a good networking opportunities when you do like a book fair at a school. It's a perfect opportunity. So I think I can get it in that way.
Oh, you want to get into the book fair. Book fairs are very important. It helps your book stand out in a very professional way. So book fairs, we run book fairs too. I've always run book fairs for preschools. What I've seen is your book needs to be very good on its own because you're not there. The teachers are not there. No one's there to sell your book. Your book are amongst a sea of books. So your cover is going to do your job for you. Your character, your design is going to ensure you sell or not. No one can help you smooth your inventory when you're doing a book fair. So you just have a strong book. And if if you don't get any sales, don't get hurt. Don't get your feelings hurt. Sometimes Taylor Swift, her books is on our book fair and she sells maybe one. So I won't get my feelings hurt. It's just different people will spend the kits will only come with about $10 or $18 or $20. They don't come with a lot of money, so they can only buy one or two books.
Oh, I have a question. There might be a question for April.
Yeah, make April talk. Hi, April.
Your book is going to age out after a while. And then you should really lower your price, right, on your book, April, after a certain amount of time?
I don't think so. I don't think that your book gets devalued, but if you are bringing in other and continuing to release new books, then you're going to continue to drive those efforts and they'll help to sell one another. So I don't think that reducing and major drop, excuse my throat again, but it can end up leaving you with no profit, no ability to market, or any sale you make, you're basically paying them to buy your book. And I wouldn't want to do that. But if there's an opportunity to discount a little bit, maybe that's okay. Just make sure that it makes business sense for you. That would be my 2 cents.
Also, I hand out free items at book fairs when I'm selling books, coloring, stickers. A author friend of mine said she suggested I don't bring as much free giveaways, and people will be more apt to buy a book if they know there's not too much that they can grab off the table. Then maybe I should keep the giveaways at a minimum. I don't know.
I mean, there's no right and wrong way to do this. If anyone
Yeah.
wants to join in and share, feel free to jump in and have a conversation about this. I don't give a lot of stuff away, but I don't mind if I have to. I give away coloring sheets. I don't mind. I mean, if people are going to buy, they're going to buy. If people who aren't going to buy, they'll take like 5 of your free stuff and they still won't buy. So I don't
Right.
think that they're not buying because you're giving them free stuff. They're just not buying
Right.
for any reason. So I don't think as long as it doesn't cost you too much money, I'll give it away.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Copy
I'll give it away.
paper and ink. Yeah, but that's part of my business expenses, so I claim that every year anyway, so,
Ellie?
yeah.
Can I chime in?
Yes.
I was just gonna say that I have 2 author friends that do a fair amount of like extra things, and they have been like having success in different ways. One of them is she actually takes a little wheel. You know these little wheels that have like a bunch of colors? So she does like prize moments, and then a lot of people come to the table, and that makes other people come too, and she ends up selling a lot of books. So having these moments that people feel like, oh, I'm lucky, I'm special, to spin the wheel and get a prize or whatever, can be a good moment. And the other one, she actually makes a part of her budget and she sells the books and says, if you buy today, you get this extra thing, like it's for free. And that helps them want to buy because they feel like they're getting something extra.
I also wanted to chime in. When I've done in-person events, I've brought a little kiddie table next to my big table, and every kid that walks by, I'm sorry, I'm like in the dark. I can start my video though. Every kid that walks by, I ask them if they want to make a little bookmark, and I just bring little stamps, and they sit there and stamp, and while they're sitting there, I talk to their parents. And normally it takes them at least 2-3 minutes, and by then I've gone through all of my books, stickers, and the kid wants something and the parents want something, and that's worked out really well for me. And the bookmarks are super cheap on like Temu.
That's very smart. That's very smart. We do coloring sheets, but I might steal your idea and give them some stamps. This coloring sheet takes too long. 2 to 3 minutes is sweet, right? If they're gonna buy, they're gonna
Yeah.
like coloring sheets. They're there for 10 minutes. Gabriella, like I am like,
And
come
there's no
on,
turnaround.
like 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, and the girl's still coloring, and then there are people who can't come in and sit. So I'm learning something from you. Thank you. I'm gonna get some bookmarks from Timu now.
Something else that you can do that also works like kind of like the bookmark is just water tattoos. So you get like a little bowl with water with little sponges and a bunch of water tattoos, and you put it on the table, and the kids just stop by and want to put it on.
Man, now I gotta get my hands wet. That's a lot of work. But yeah, they're gonna love it. We're gonna have a line. I'm gonna put a tip jar out there. Tip me. Because I've taken my daughter to some of these events, and whenever they do something, you have to put a $1 or $5 tip in. So maybe I'll make some money there. Baby tattoo, yeah.
I'll see how long my throat holds out, but I did an adopt a puppy with every purchase. And I had these like bulk packages of little puppies in just different, they were just literally $2.50 or something. Actually, no, I think it was closer to $1 than $2. And because I bought them in bulk, and I set it up in like as if they were in like a little corral, like waiting to be adopted. And they would go in and they would come and say, I want one of the puppies. And I'm like, oh, they're not for sale, but they're free when you purchase something. And they were begging their parents to buy a $20 book for a $2 item. It was crazy. Just silly things like that can really help as well. Little just thinking outside the box.
Gabriella wants to know if I think education conference 275 to 500 people, it's worth it. Oh, I've done some of these my second year in business. I don't like them. Because I feel like I'm leaving it to chance a lot. Like if I'm sitting out there for 5 hours or 8 hours, sometimes I flew to Vegas once and I paid $3,000. And I flew to, I didn't fly to New York. I drove to New York and we did a 4-day show called New York Now. And those are like $2,000, $3,000 as well. I don't think I got enough out of it. But 275 to 500 that you're describing, if you can share it to table, and if you have the time, you can do it. Because it's not that big of a loss. It's just a few hours of your time if you have it. What I've noticed is it's hard to convert those relationships. And if I'm going out there one day and getting one of the author visit, I'll bring all my money back. But the reach isn't enough for me. But maybe that will work for other author. But the way I think is if I put $500 and 5 hours of my time, I would like to get 5 or 10 schools and like future opportunities. When I do it in person, it's very much like I'm done that day. I get 3 or I get 2 or whatever I get and I leave. But there's no aftermath opportunities. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, April. But 275 to 500 isn't too much. It just depends. I don't like those events because it's too much work. It's a lot of work to prepare for it, to move it there, to set up, to sit there for a whole day, and then you don't know what you're going to get. At $500, I'll love to hire someone to send out a bunch of emails for me, a bunch of phone calls, cold calls, or like run a Facebook ad for $125, which is what I did for some authors. We ran $125 worth of ads telling them that I'm looking for school visits and my school visit starts at, I don't know, $350. We were able to get seen 2,000 times to me, that took like an hour and a half of my time versus 5 hours. Obviously, you lose the in-person thing, but I do feel like a lot of the opportunities to scale is online. Obviously, you don't have the face-to-face relationship. That's really nice. Nothing can replace that. But I would rather, for me right now in this stage, I would rather share online marketing using 175 an hour and a half of my time, bringing in 4,000 impressions, 4,000 school folks to see my ad. Because I always believe in a numbers game. Thank you, April. We have a summit coming up. It's lots of fun. We post it everywhere about it. So feel free to reach out. You're not pressured to go. I don't want to take this opportunity to like upsell you on things like this. But if you need help, April, Tina, me, really know where to find us. Just post in that group. Serena and I are in that group often, and I'm happy to help. But I want to make sure like authors spend their money wisely, because it's so easy to spend too much. Everything costs a ton of money. And if you want to hire a better editor, a better illustrator, a better graphic designer, and you have to do advertising, the money doesn't stop. And the sales doesn't really come in fast enough. I know the pain points So with limited funds and limited time that we have, just make sure you spend it on where you think is going to give you the most return. Always think about, is this going to get me the most return?
I would like to speak up for you on your summit. I'm signed up for my third one, and I find it's very exciting to be around people that get your struggle, and you build relationships with the other authors, and there's just a lot of education and opportunity there. And I have been blessed this past summit. I got to interview with a distributor. I would have not known how to make that connection, and now my book has been picked up by a distributor. So
congratulations.
Thank you. It's very exciting. And that's because of the summit. So I speak very highly of it and tell anybody that'll listen.
Congratulations. We host a summit every year. We do some mini events. We do a whole bunch of stuff. But I mean, we want to see authors succeed, and we understand how hard it is to sell books, because a lot of people are doing this at different stages of their life, and we don't really have all the connections that we have and the money to pitch a lot of people, and we all want to have a shot of getting a distributor, but I think if you don't get a distributor, because it's like 11% to get a distributor, you still need to know exactly how to sell your books. So learning those skills, marketing, even if you get a distributor, it's not guaranteed that your sales will be great. And chance of what happens is you have to get your stock back. They'll ask you to move your stock back, and you have to pay for warehousing and much of that. I didn't get a distributor until my third year, and I got an educational distributor. I work with Follett, which is an education distribution company, Follett. And then I have another education distribution business distributor in New York, but that took a long time. And regardless if they do a good job, I still make sure I move my stock. I still make sure I move my inventory using all the marketing skills and digital skills that I've learned. I've learned all of these. I did not know how to do any of this. My business was in private education. I know how to teach. I know how to work with the government. I know how to hire teachers. I know how to do a lot of stuff, but I didn't know how to run digital ads. I learned that, right? My first 2 years of my publishing business journey was all about education. I learned from April. I learned from Jay. I learned from people. You're very quiet, Pat.
I'm just listening, taking it all in.
Awesome. This is cool. April, do you do this every week? Look at that.
I do. We have a weekly Q&A on Wednesday evenings, and it's kind of my gift to the author community for, especially for newbies or people who have been watching my videos, but they have additional questions and things like that. So yeah, this is one of the things that I do to give back to the community. And as long as my voice holds out, we've been doing a lot of mastermind sessions. I have a mastermind membership, which is fantastic. And my author work group is now in week 3, the current 12-week author work group. So we've got a lot going on, lots of things that are really designed to help make self-publishing simple. And it's never going to be as easy as 1, 2, 3, but hopefully with the support, the education, the courses, the coaching, and these kind of drop-in sessions where people can ask questions and get some guidance. Hopefully that does help provide the, let's say it prevents people from ending up getting taken advantage of. And that's really one of my primary goals, is to help them navigate through this process with people that they can trust. And I count you in as one of the most, one of the very important ones when it comes to helping with getting into schools and all of the stuff that you're doing, Yobe, with summits and training and book an author. All of that stuff is amazing how it helps the community and moves that forward. But you're also very business oriented, business centered. And I think that is that's very admirable, because it's something that we can all learn to do better, is really looking at the business case of things and making sure that what we are offering is good for our target audience, but also good for us as a business to grow.
I agree. I want to add that 4 years in this community, I've learned that authors are genuine.
Yobe, it looks like you're in a
very genuinely bad about selling. For some reason, they were breaking.
It looks like you're kind of fading in and out, Yobe, which is okay. I know you're driving, so we can hold off until you're in a better spot. And my cough medicine, cold medicine is kicking in a little bit. So if people have questions, we're going to be here a little bit longer. So feel free to ask away. Go ahead, Karen. Oh, you're heading out. Okay, no problem.
I have a situation where, well, I'm working with Joanne. I love Joanne. She's a great editor. I went through my entire novel and did the self-editing. And I took your advice, April, with using AI to help me. Well, she came back with a $6,000 fee to edit the book. And I guess she read through it and thought it needed more developmental editing, but I didn't know it was going to be that much.
Yeah. Have you tried Reedsy?
What was that?
Reedsy. That's another alternative as well. Because how long is your manuscript right now?
It's roughly about 100K.
100,000. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been working with another author, coaching through the editing of his book. And I think it came in around, just for the developmental editing, I think around 2,300, and his was around 130,000. And that was the quotes that I got off of some of the folks on Reedsy that were doing developmental edits for historical fiction, came in between 2,000 and 3,500. So I'm not sure why it's so expensive. Some of the stuff I would, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I worked so hard on the
Yeah.
developmental edits precisely that so I wouldn't have to incur such a, you know, exuberant. And I know she's good, but I haven't really talked to her, so I don't, I need to find out. I mean, I assume she read the whole manuscript, or
I
how would
doubt
she
it.
know
I
that it
doubt, yeah,
needs
I
more
doubt,
work?
I doubt that she would have read the whole thing, but what she probably did is read a sample chapter or two to get a sense for the state of the book,
Hmm,
the level of effort it's going to take. So I'm happy to follow up on your behalf and see if I can get some feedback also for you. And I definitely think that going on to Readsy, opening a project and inviting a few to give you, to take
okay,
this chapter or so and give you an estimate for what it would cost. Now, I think I started thinking, gee, I'm in the wrong business because a developmental edit, all it really ended up encompassing was a couple of pages worth of notes and things that the author had to go back and do. And yes, they did read the manuscript, but that was it. One pass for $2,300. And I was like, wow, I need to learn how to edit
really.
so I can help other people.
The
And
only thing is, April, these people, whoever's in Readsy, they're not in your group.
no,
You're
but
not
they are,
vetting them.
but
And
they are pre-vetted by Readsy. I highly recommend Readsy because
oh, have you used it?
they have a very strict vetting process with
Oh,
edit.
okay.
So what I would do is I would go to readsy.com and I would look for the particular genre that you're in and
Okay.
find some of the, higher level people. You'll see feedback on how people liked the work that they've done, rough, some of the similar projects that they've worked on, and that can be very helpful for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but again, I guess on the positive side, when you're writing a novel, you're not spending, $5,000 on an illustrator. So, but you may spend $5,000 on an editor, so it's different. Yeah, it's just one more challenge, but hopefully you will get a relationship with somebody that does have the background that you need and a reasonable price that fits more in your budget. What are you
Right.
budgeting for the project?
Well, when you and I went over it, we came up with 3,000, but now with that, it's like 9,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I
hard.
mean, I paid that much for the children's book, but I expected because of illustrations
Right.
that was going to be high. I didn't expect this, so
Yeah,
I will definitely go on to Readsy.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And this is your first novel, right? So
Yes,
I
yeah,
think, as you build relationships with resources and as you get more experience under your belt, you're going to be in a much better place. And
hmm
the cost, I assume, will be reduced as you move forward.
right.
But first time is always, there's a lot to learn.
I don't want to take that up much time up the group. I mean, I can come in tomorrow. I mean, you wanted to talk about my the book images too.
Okay.
The gentleman that you referred, um, I don't know that he's getting my vision. I mean, we went back and forth 3 or 4 times, and
Okay.
I try to be explicit as I can, but I mean, I'm waiting for another image. I'll wait and see. There is a time difference, right, with
Yeah.
him?
Yeah. Murshidi, I think, is in um, Pakistan. I think he's.
Okay, all right.
But if you want to do some show and tell or whatever when we get to class tomorrow, I would love to
Yes,
take a
I
look
would
at.
love to do that tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep, that would be great. Awesome. And if anybody knows of a really good editor of novels that you are interested in sharing with Andrea,
Oh, I would love that.
yeah. And Andrea, I do have another one that's on my vetted list, which is Robin Katz, Katz. She is on my pre-approved list as well. And I know that she has also edited some of the novels as well as children's books. So she has a wide variety of books that she does. I don't know where she is now as far as her queue. So maybe it's worth reaching out and
Oh, that's good. I'm gonna hook up with her and go on to Readsy. So if I get a couple
Andrea,
of
there is
prices.
also some suggestions on the chat if you want to open it as well. And someone is asking what genre the novel is.
I'm sorry, say again?
Oh, there are some suggestions on the chat if you want to look through it.
Oh,
And someone is
okay.
asking what genre the novel is, if it's romance or
It's
something.
it's contemporary romance.
right, women's like second chance romance. I think you mentioned, Andrea.
Yeah, it's a second chance romance.
Huh.
Older woman, younger man.
Clean, spicy.
I
Gabrielle.
use Robin too. I use Laura from Calico.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Does Laura do Laura's good. She's on my list as well. I wasn't aware that she does novels though. So that's good information, Gabriella. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, Laura Bingham is her name, and she's on my list as well, Andrea.
Okay.
Yep. We're all here to share the love and make sure that we get the right people connected. I am going to follow up with Joanne too and just figure out what's she could potentially be really overloaded right now, and that drives up pricing as well. So, all right. Well, we have just a few
Thank
more
you.
minutes.
I appreciate it. Everybody's
Time
help.
for one more question if you have a question, and then I'm going to call it quits a little bit early. We're not going to extend for the additional hour because for my mastermind, because I'm just my throat comes and goes, so I'm going to give it some rest. And if you are looking, if you're part of the mastermind and you want to do the drop-in on Friday, would be very happy to have you come back on Friday. I will be there from 1 to 2 Eastern, which is relatively new. And I'm adding a few people from my ads class who need a little bit of extra help. So if you're a mastermind member and you have been wanting to ask and dig deeper a little bit into ads, we're going to be talking about that on Friday as well.
April,
A quick question, April. When will the webinar on Kickstarter, when will that be available, the recording?
I can post, I'm going to send out a copy of a link to it for everybody on the mastermind. So that should be posted this
Oh,
evening.
great.
But
Okay.
I'm still going to work with my editor to get a better version of it posted for YouTube.
Okay.
You're back, Yobe. I think I can see you better. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yobe.
Of course, I'm home now. I'm happy to answer anyone's last question. Good luck with everything. It's a lot to learn. It's a very steep learning curve here. But I'm very excited about your novel.
Oh, thank you, Yobe.
That's spicy.
Yeah.
Thanks again for jumping in on such short notice. I am grateful and I appreciate that. And look forward to jumping on with you and with one of your webinars coming up soon.
Great. If you know any teachers, we're happy to take anyone in your group who are teachers for this new campaign. We're going to need current teachers to do this.
Okay. I have quite a bit of teachers in my my group. So
Awesome.
yeah, I'll send that out in my newsletter, a call for teachers who are interested in helping move this effort forward.
Good. We are planning something for April is National School Librarian Month.
Okay.
So we're putting together a campaign with current teachers to work with school librarians. And we're going to try to do something big to bring more librarians to the platform.
Beautiful.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.